Before we get into this episode, I want to thank our sponsors. We just keep adding to the list, and I'm so honored and humbled by that. I appreciate people's support. I want to start off with our local folks here in the Houston area, Conroe, Texas. The name of the company is Summer Moon Coffee, and friends of our family has started this coffee shop, and I want to thank Wyatt and his team for taking care of the community and for serving and just providing great product, great atmosphere. Summer Moon Coffee in Conroe. Also, a good friend of mine, veteran, U.S. Army veteran and man of faith, Randy LeVere in Indiana, who started a company called Armored Nation Coffee, and he has provided us with opportunities for savings. If you type in last in line, when you go to his website, armoredcoffee.com, you'll get a 25% discount on the greatest coffee to date that I've seen and tasted from the great state of Indiana. Let's put it that way. It's very good. Very good, and he's a great guy, and the mission he has is to take the gospel to the marketplace. So thank you, Armored Nation Coffee. Also, Do Work That Matters is a fairly new sponsor, a young man who is out showing appreciation with an apparel line that he's created for first responders, people in the community that serve, give back, and do work that matters. He's created a clothing line. He's been gracious with giving us some of his merchandise, and it's great stuff. Love the logo. So thank you to Do Work That Matters. Most recently, we've added the Cowboy Revolution apparel company, and I came across him on Instagram and just reached out, and we connected, and he was nice enough to send us some things, and love the logo, love his brand, and Cowboy Revolution Apparel is our newest sponsor. So I say go check them out on Instagram and go to their website and cowboyrevolutionapparel.com and get some of their stuff. It's awesome. Worthy mission. And Kevin Fulton, and I want to just thank him for reaching out and supporting Last in Line podcast with a t-shirt. They've got a really cool logo, a cool Instagram page. They've got a website that says they lead like lions as a Christian lifestyle brand to help men become stronger physically, mentally, and most important, spiritually, to lead their families as God has created them to do. So I want to thank Lead Like Lions. Last but not least, Gridiron Coffee. And thank you to Brad for connecting with me on Instagram and just offering to support our cause here at Last in Line. Brad has a amazing business that he's started, great coffee, great product. And as you guys know, my blood type is dark roast, and he's speaking my language, sent me some coffee, sent me a shirt, and he's all about the gridiron, the football field, and athletes. And that's right up our alley here too. So I want to thank Brad for all the great work he's doing. Go to his website and order some coffee, sponsor some efforts to provide a scholarship for a deserving athlete that Brad is behind doing, raising money for that scholarship. So go on his website, find out how you can give to that cause. Thanks again, Gridiron Coffee. Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's good to be on with you. I had something kind of come out of the blue with a topic I wanted to discuss, and you ever just get one of those ideas and you don't really know why, and then you start thinking about it and it starts to unfold and you're like, I can't really explain this, but we just roll with it. And so that's the luxury of being the boss of me when it comes to this podcast. So hope you guys enjoy today's session episode. I've got my Armored Nation coffee here, and I've got my Oklahoma Sooners baseball hat on, not field hat, but it's a hat. And being from Oklahoma, apologize to my sponsors today, this particular episode. I'm going back to the old stomping ground of Oklahoma where I grew up. So I will have sponsor gear on the next time. So anyway, I wanted to just talk to you today about the game of baseball and the parallels there are in life and some of the pearls of wisdom that I gained and that I know others have gained who have played baseball. Those of you that don't know or haven't played it, bear with me today because there are some serious parallels on what we can do in life, that if we master these in the game of baseball, we master them in life most likely. And there are similarities, but you don't have to have played baseball to get these analogies and to understand the principles and apply them. So, all that to say, pardon me. Thank you. I had to get a drink of that coffee. All that to say, I'm calling this episode title is Diamonds and Pearls. So baseball diamonds and the pearls of wisdom that come from the lessons that I learned and that a lot of people learn on the baseball field. Diamonds and pearls. So the diamond, I'm going to tell you, the baseball diamond is a sanctuary of sorts for the Shibley family and has been for years. Now, granted, we've kind of gotten through that season and moved on past the sport of baseball as far as kids playing it in my family, but we still love it. We still watch it. My oldest son's still coaching it. My second son, my 21-year-old almost son, is giving lessons. He was a pitcher. So it's still in the blood. It's still around. Like we're still going and seeing the same people play that we used to know and their kids are playing. And so it's fun. It's a fun journey. And but I tell you, learned a lot from the baseball diamond. And baseball, if you don't know, is a huge game of failure. And it's, I would say, 70% of some of the best players in the game fail in the batter's box, or fail as to say they don't hit safely. They don't get a base hit. They definitely don't hit a home run in, even 3 out of 10 times. But the Hall of Fame is full of people that failed 7 out of 10 times with batting averages of, if you're doing the math, 300. Lifetime batting average of 300 says that the 7 times out of 10, they did not get a hit. So baseball's a rough game. It's a game of failure for the most part. And so that in and of itself alone equips us for life. And I would say that my kids learned how to accept it in the moment, but not live with it and let it define them moving forward. So they understood the game was going to present failure a lot, but they knew how to stick and move when that failure ensued. And then they knew how to refine their skills to avoid that same failure, hopefully. Now, yes, there are times where in life we get the same curveball that we just can't seem to hit, metaphorically speaking, but we get better at how we handle it. We get closer to hitting that curveball. We get more, I guess, in tune with our feelings in the aftermath of that letdown, possibly. So baseball is teaching us. It teaches us a lot. Like it teaches us how to deal with failure. But I'll tell you about 3 things that I got. The pearls of wisdom, mostly that I took from a lifetime of playing, coaching, being around the game of baseball. So the first one I'll tell you is these are going to be simple too. They're going to be, you don't even have to really know baseball to get this. So the first one is going to be kind of straightforward. It's going to be eye on the ball. Like I learned, obviously, in life, keep your eye on the ball. A lot of us don't. Well, a lot of maybe you. I think my family right now, I could say we've got a good bit of people who have good hand-eye coordination in our family. We, my kids, my wife, me, have all been pretty good with hand-eye coordination. So keeping our eye on the ball and managing to execute the tasks that are needed to be effective in a game, baseball, or in my wife's case, softball, that comes in handy. But I will tell you, even if you don't have great hand-eye coordination, you can still manage to be effective if you keep your eye on the ball. In life, we may not be the most skilled people at a certain thing, But let's say in our job, okay, in a relationship, let's just say, like, if we aren't as gifted as somebody else is in communication, in sales, in technology, in conflict resolution in a relationship, let's say, if we're not the best skilled at it, if we keep our eye on the ball and understand what the end game is, the long game, the reward at the end, we can usually navigate through that water. We can usually figure out through the maze how to get to that cheese at the end. Like, but it takes really focusing on the ball. Whatever that ball is in your life, like your job, if you keeping the eye on the ball means you're just going every day, you're reliable, you're consistent, you're a good team player, you're coachable. If you're in it for the long game, which is sustaining a long career at that place, an income, if you're in sales, a lucrative compensation package if you do well. But your reason, and a lot of people call it your why. So if you keep your why in focus, then that's keeping your eye on the ball. That's important. That's really important because you don't have to always be the most skilled individual. It's easy to be distracted. It's easy to take our eye off the ball when something doesn't go our way always, or when a relationship doesn't turn out like you thought, when a person doesn't respond or react the way you thought they would or should. That becomes a situation where you take your eye off the ball. You start realizing, or you start not realizing or remembering that the relationship is going to be rocky. It's just like baseball. You're going to miss the ball some, right? But you got to keep your eye on the ball, which is the eye on the ball. In this case, in a relationship would be longevity, loyalty, honor, service, love, intimacy, like affection, speaking how you want to be spoken to, but speaking in a way that honors your spouse. So the eye on the ball in a relationship, like if we take our eye off of that, we can get really twisted and we can get really skewed in our perspective, which downstream of that, obviously the ramifications are, worst case scenario, broken marriage. But in the small granular scale, could just be silent treatment, could be strife, conflict, dissension, those kinds of things, resentment. So keeping the eye on the ball is, look, this is relationships for life. There's no plan B. There's no divorce. There's no, we love each other. We're loyal. This is it. Like, we honor them the way they honor us. Like, if we know that those are the basics and we keep the eye on the ball, that's going to reap a harvest in a relationship. It's going to reap a fruitful harvest. And so in a job, even like I said, keeping the eye on the ball. Baseball, I mean, you cannot hit a baseball or catch a baseball with your eyes closed, with looking somewhere other than the ball that's coming at you. You really can't. You have to be laser focused on that object coming at you. Just like in life, at work, in a relationship, you got to keep your eye on the ball. Second pearl of wisdom from the diamond, the baseball diamond, for those of you that don't know, it's shaped like a diamond in the infield. So that's where I'm getting this. If you're really like been under a rock your whole life and don't know that, I figure I'd clarify. But anyway, so you got to fall in love with the fundamentals. This is number 2. The basics, the fundamentals, the footwork, the handwork, the positioning of your body, the reaction to either another player or the ball or a situation. Like, there are basic fundamentals of fielding, throwing, catching, hitting, right? Basics, even in football, blocking and tackling. Like, we talk about that vernacular for football players is, if we're talking basics, they're like, hey, blocking and tackling. That's what it's about, blocking and tackling. And so that's a way of saying, keep your eye on the fundamentals, right? Or fall in love with the fundamentals, because those, if you can give me a team or a group of people or a family that get the fundamentals of life, the basics, the consistency, the character, the integrity, the servant heart, the putting God first, like that's a basic fundamental. So if you give me somebody that has those basic groundwork, fundamentals, foundation, we can do a lot with less talent. And so fall in love with the fundamentals. I think we get, and I'm speaking to me too, like I can speak for myself, but you get too enamored by the flashy, sexy, skills that are maybe on the elaborate side of things, or they're spectacular or sensational. Like we want to be so spectacular, I guess is just the right word. Like we want to be that. We want to be outstanding and great, and good's the enemy of great if you ask certain people, but yeah, we want to be exceptional. But we can't put that above losing sight of the fundamentals, the basic core, the basic DNA of us in our sales role, in our job role, in our relationship role, with our friends, in our whatever we're doing. We've got to be able to feel the ground ball, basic ground ball. We got to be able to step and throw. We got to be able to catch the baseball, keep our eye on the ball, catch basic stuff. We got to be able to swing a bat, see it, hit it, right? I'm using these baseball analogies, and maybe they're maybe they're going over your head. I don't know. But it's true in life, because when I try to do more than what maybe I'm capable of, or maybe more than is necessary in that situation, I think I only make it worse. Like basic fundamentals. Let's take communication, for instance, in a marriage. Okay. This is an area where I've been fairly deficient at times in. Full disclosure. I mean, I'll tell you, like I think I've dropped the ball a lot in communication with my wife over the years, right? I mean, not all the time, but there are times when I get heated or we get fired up and I say something where I, just kind of throw out a little joking jab that's unnecessary, and then it goes too far or whatever. Basic communication fundamentals, right? I don't see down past immediate results. Like I don't think, okay, this could hurt her. This could be this could maybe play into her insecurity some. This could maybe bring up old wounds or memories for her, or this could fill in the blank. I don't think about that, right? I'm in the moment. And sometimes that happens to us is, wherever we are, like we stop thinking about basic fundamentals and we think, I got to do more. I got to be this. I'm not really qualified for this, but I'm going to be this. I got to be flashy. I got to be seen. I got to be at the top of the mountain and looking down at everybody so they can see me. Like we get trapped in this world of sensationalism, addiction, and we lose sight of basics, baseline, ground zero fundamentals in that situation with my wife, like listening, right? If she has a problem at work, I got to fix it. I got to give my 2 cents. I got to be like, Mr. Opinion, Mr. Solution, Mr. Well, if it was me, one of those guys, instead of, hey, all right, tell me what you need. Like, do you need me to try to fix it, bring a solution, or do you need me to just listen? Do you need me to, I don't know, get mad with you? Or do you need me to calm the situation for you? Like I've never been good enough in the moment to stop and ask. But communication 101 fundamentals would tell you, stop and wait and listen. Like that's just one example, but that's fundamentals in a relationship, communication, fundamentals in a job, basics, like go be consistent, be reliable, be coachable, be a good teammate, be driven, don't need to be babysat. Like these are things that are basic fundamentals to effective people working, effective leadership, effective production in general. So that's the second one. So like we're talking about, diamonds and pearls today. The pearls that that I watched my kids get from the baseball diamond. So diamonds and pearls. And the first one I told you was eye on the ball. Second one is fall in love with fundamentals. Okay. And the final one, the last one is embrace failure. All right. We talked about that in the beginning. And I'm going to just book in this conversation with failure. So when I say to embrace failure, I didn't say enjoy failure. I didn't say seek failure. I said embrace it and understand the expectation that might be attached to a situation that might include failure or falling short. So scared of that word. Like we really are scared of it. And I get it. We're not trying to fail. That's not what I'm saying. Nobody would think that. That's like the saying of, I want to be the best version of myself. Who wants to be the worst version of themselves? Like, I don't think embracing failure means we seek it or want it or desire it or love it, but we know what to do with it because we expect that might be an outcome, depending on the situation, right? Like, I think when we start expanding our capacity for growth and learning and just trying to refine a skill set or grow a skill set, like I think we got to expect, look, I may not be good at this, but I'm going to try it and know that we're coming back for more. Even if we do fail, we're coming back. Okay. We're bought into this process. We're going to come back and get it anyway, regardless of the outcome, knowing that I'm going to get better every time. And eventually I'm not going to fail at it. Like that's what I think we got to get to. The natural progression of embracing failure is in your mind, you get it, that it's a possibility. You still go at it 100 miles an hour, not fear of failure, but understanding, okay, look, this is a little bit new territory for me. I may not hit the mark exactly, or I may fall just short. I'm good with that. Like we can be good with that, right? That potential outcome. If we have that perspective that I'm still coming the next time, I'm going after it again. And so the problem and baseball, I mean, to make the analogy consistent here, like you go up to bat against a pitcher throwing 95 miles an hour, and you're probably not expecting to hit a home run every time. I mean, let's be honest. You might just be okay with making contact. Like if I hit the ball, I'm glad because he's filthy. This guy is really good, throwing really hard. Okay. If I hit the ball hard, but I get out, am I deflated? Is my confidence depleted? Am I pouting? Am I done? Am I just discouraged? Am I a piece of garbage? No. No, because the scale by which we measure our success or significance has to be relative to a situation. It can't always be based on our past success because our growth depends on pushing our limits down the road. And if we're totally like locked into our, defining ourselves by, okay, I was good at this, so I'm definitely going to be good at this, and I don't expect to fail because I've never failed at that. So why would I fail at this? So if you're pushing yourself and your limits, then yeah, it's going to be a challenge. Just because a guy can hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball over the fence, does that mean he's going to go out in the golf course and be a scratch golfer ready for the professional tour? Absolutely not. So that's what I'm saying. Like that same guy can't go on the golf course and expect I'm going to be a stud because I'm a stud over here. But if I break that down and bring it down to ground zero for us, like if your boss asks you to do something different, if you're in sales and you're really good at sales, but then he wants to maybe expand your skills based on your growth and career path desire, like you might have to be coaching new employees. Well, you may not be great at that. Not all great players make great coaches. So what if you're a really good salesperson, but then you go over here and you struggle with coaching an employee? Does that mean you suck at coaching? No. Does that mean you should never try it again? Never pursue growth or management or leadership? No. It means it's a different skill set. It means embrace that failure right there. Embrace, because really what failure is, guys, is it's the road signs alerting you to the things you need to change or ways you need to make adjustments. It's the construction road work sign saying, look, like up here is a pothole. Okay. Your failure in coaching that employee, hey, that's an alert. Alert. You need to work on your communication skills, or you need to work on, maybe some empathy, listening skills. Maybe what made you good in sales won't necessarily translate to making you a good coach. Those are the things. That's the alert system. That's the failure is the blinking red light within you going, okay, check. Okay. I'm noted, right? Noted. I got to work on this. But it doesn't mean you can't be good at it. If I struggle, like in baseball, if I struggle to hit that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, guess what? I need to practice hitting that same thing. That way, when I get in the game, I get better at it and I'm more confident, and I'm not really considering the failure piece as much, right? But if we embrace a failure situation, potential, it only means that we're pushing ourselves beyond our capacity, our comfort zone, which is a good thing. So we need to expect that could be an option. Failure could be a potential. But the more we do it, the less that becomes an option or potential. So embrace failure. So I don't know. I had fun going through some of this because baseball, man, it is a game of failure. I had fun going through some of the parallels and the diamonds and pearls of wisdom from the diamond, the baseball diamond. Like I love talking about analogies with sports, and you guys get it. Like I know you'll take something from this and really start to kind of apply it and understand. Like it's all about how we see out there. It's all about how we see our opportunities, our potential, our skills. It's all about how we see our surroundings, our perspective, right? It's how we see the ball. It's where our focus is. It's what matters most, keeping the main thing. And it's fall in love with, fundamentals. It's all in how we see that. Are fundamentals boring? Maybe, but repetition, doing the right reps, they get second nature, right? They get routine. They become part of who we are, and then we don't even really have to think about it, but we're solid there, right? And then finally, embracing failure. Again, I hope this was good for you guys. I enjoyed it. I had fun today. Thanks for letting me have a cup of coffee and have a fun conversation with you. So till next time, be blessed.